Hello, welcome to Tarot and Oracle for the Soul. I did a quick search for green tarot decks and I didn't come up with anything. So this tag is green and Celtic inspired tarot and oracle decks for the month of March for St. Patrick's Day. So I am going to start right in with a deck that fits both of that criteria. The Earth Wisdom Oracle by Barbara Moore, artwork by Christina Scagliotti. This deck is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. So we have the Celtic knot on the back and green backs, and then the cards. I absolutely love the triple spiral. I used to doodle spirals on my notebooks all the time when I was bored in class. I just feel a kindred attachment to the triple spiral. And I actually have this tattoo. I love spirals. And I love green. And I love spring and summer and fall. Winter, not so much. But yeah, so those are some of the cards. This deck is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. And I really love working with this deck. So it gives you a herb to work with and a stone, which is really cool, and then a like a mantra. So for example, grace, the herb is rue, encourages self-acceptance, receptivity to grace, and bring the physical and spiritual into harmony. Stone, the crystal, is kunzite, encourages miracles and love. We can be our own worst critics. Berating yourself separates you from divine grace, which is a gift freely given to all. To receive grace and divine love, you must accept yourself and realize you are worthy. See yourself through the eyes of grace. You, after all, carry a spark of the divine in your heart. And then here's the mantra. I am a child of the divine. I honor and value myself. I know that I am worthy of love and grace from the divine and from others, including myself. So in honor of St. Patrick's Day, I painted my fingernails green with this really fun nail polish that actually has like crushed green obsidian in it. Let me tell you, I haven't painted my fingernails in so long. I usually just buy those like little fingernail stickers, or I buy like the press-on nails. And I've already messed up my nails like so many times today, and I'm so afraid that while like showing the cards, I'm gonna like chip my nails. So bear with me. Now I featured this recently in another flip through. This is another green deck, Secrets of the Mystic Grove Oracle, artwork by Mary Ellen Thomas, written by Arwen Lynch. Hopefully I pronounced their names correctly. So this is a gorgeous deck with the green and blue backs. And it's kind of a rainbow deck. A lot of my cards are like, could fit into multiple categories, but there's a lot of green on all the cards. You know, even though this bottom's red and she's in a red dress, there's like pops of green. Just like this kind of orangey more like card, there's still like pops of green. So since there's pops of green and it's like a nature inspired deck with animals and they're out in nature in most of these cards, I decided to put this with the green theme. And then I showed the book in another flip through recently, VR, and so the guidebook is really good for journaling. Next up, we have Tarot of a Moon Garden by Karen Marie. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce her name. This is the original version. I really wanna purchase the borderless version that comes with the book. The book looks so good. And again, this deck could be put in many different colors. It's a very colorful deck, but because there's like green in a lot of the cards, and there's fairies, and there's dragons, and there's dragonflies, and it's just a very like mystical deck. Like here's a dragon. I put it in with the green and Celtic deck. So like even here, there's like green right here. The Hangman has the ferns, and Temperance, the angel, is standing on some green. Yeah, I was looking to see if I could purchase the book separately, and I didn't find anywhere where I could. So I don't know, it's going on my wish list. All right, so that is the Tarot of a Moon Garden, the original version with the borders. Here's another deck that could go in multiple categories. It's actually more kind of a yellow. It would be more of like a yellow deck, but I'm including it because again of the artwork. It's kind of Celtic inspired. So the backs are gorgeous, kind of rainbow. We got some green right here. And green here. So you could see the cards are predominantly yellow, but there's pops of green. And then there's the spirals and animals. So I wanted to include this. This looks very like Celtic, this tree, the spirals here. This whole is very like Celtic to me. That's just what I see when I look at that card. Like a lot of these cards. I love this little troll with his crystals or her crystals. All right, so there's so many more cards. Like more than half the deck has green featured on it, and like Celtic symbols. There's like kind of spirals everywhere. I really like this one. And I love this Phoenix for Judgment. It's so gorgeous. So this is the Chrysalis Tarot. Next up is a deck that I think is out of print. This is the Animals Divine by Lisa Hunt. You can see my cats like to chew on this book. This deck is absolutely gorgeous. These are the backs. It's very kind of, you know, the Celtic knot inspired. And again, this deck could be, you know, a yellow deck or a green deck, but the colors are more like muted. you know, greens, blues, yellows. So I'm putting this with my green deck due to the fact that it's nature based. You know, it has to do with animals and nature, and the vibe fits the theme. And there's spirals throughout. So this is one of my favorite decks. I love this deck. I love the artwork. I love how gentle this deck is. And just the artwork is so beautiful. And I love animals. So if a deck has animals and nature, I am going to really enjoy the deck. So this is Animals Divine by Lisa Hunt. This deck, I've also featured it in other VRs, is the Wheel of the Year Tarot by Maria Coretti. Artwork by Antonella Platano. And this is just such a joyful, beautiful deck that's kind of, you know, Renaissance, kind of pagan. Well, definitely pagan. But it reminds me of like the Renaissance, and it's a very colorful deck. So again, it could go in any category, but green is in more than half of the cards. I had some other green decks that I was going to include, but it didn't really go with like kind of and I was going for kind of animals and nature and Celtic and green, kind of like spring vibes, and they didn't quite fit. You know, I have alien decks that, you know, are green, but not the right green. You know, that's kind of like the lime green. It's not the emerald green of nature of Ireland. So I didn't include those. And then I have just some other oracle cards that aren't alien, that are kind of green, but kind of not. I love this little fairy hugging the candle, and these children playing with the birds, and we got the green curtains here. So my requirement was kind of like to go with this vibe. So I'd like to tag a bunch of people. I'll tag you all: Asteria Sen, Robin's Reflections, Simply Han, anyone else who I'm forgetting, I'll link down below. And I would love to see your responses and your decks, your green and Celtic inspired decks for St. Patrick's Day for the month of March. Continuing along the line of fairies, we have tarot at the end of the rainbow. So again, it could be a rainbow deck, but I'm including it because it's fairies and there's a lot of green featured. I absolutely love, I mean, hello, a leprechaun right here. The fairies and the colors. So we've got the bottoms are in green. The back is predominantly green with the rainbow, kind of with the triselect. I'm probably saying that wrong. But this deck is just so gorgeous and colorful and green. And I could show you just like the whole deck, but I will stop there. You get the point. Leprechauns and fairies and spirals, and of course rainbows. Moving on to another fairy deck, we have the Fairy Tarot by, also I think is it the same person? Oh no, this is David Corsi, and this one is Antonio Lupatelli. And then look at the backs. The backs are gorgeous. You have predominantly green, but some blue and gold. All right, so you guys get the point. They're just, it's a very cute deck, but do beware, there is some nudity in the fairy tarot. Next up, we have the Herb Crafters Tarot, artwork by Joanna Powell-Culber, written by Letitia Guthrie. So inside the box is green. The book is colorful, could it be rainbow and green? And this is really great because it gives you the herb and then it kind of tells you about it and then crafting. So ways you can use turmeric or whatever the herb is that's featured. So we have that kind of rainbow, but yet very green dominated on the backs. And there's gonna be green featured throughout because you're dealing with herbs. So even here we have the green cup and we've got some green vegetables. So again, a very green and blue and yellow deck, but green is definitely the predominant color. So this is a deck I just like to use for myself. I don't use it in readings for anybody else. I bought this because I wanted to learn more about herbs. It's something that I've always been interested in. Another nature-inspired deck is the Bee Tarot by Christopher Hughes, artwork by Nadia Turner. And again, this could be more of like a summer and like a yellow deck, but I included it because there's spirals and there's a lot of green throughout this deck. So yes, yellow is the predominant because of honey, but there's a lot of green throughout all the cards. Because we wouldn't have honey without flowers. Without nature. I love this fairy. I really love the cardstock. These are linen cards. They shuffle beautifully. These cards are stunning. I absolutely love this deck. It's so rich in symbolism. And it's just, I mean, look at the backs of these. It's just such a beautiful deck. So lots of greens, lots of yellows, and then pops of some other colors. But more than half the cards are mainly green. So I will stop here because I could keep going on and on and on and show you the whole deck, but I have done a full flip through and I can link that above so you can watch that flip through. Oh, and inside it says, did the bees understand the mysteries of the druids, or did the bees perhaps give them access to those mysteries? I think the bees gave them access for sure. All right, next we have the Flower Child Tarot by Kyra Cayenne. And I think I included this in my pink decks, but it's also, you know, could be yellow deck. Like, look at the backs, it's so gorgeous. The book is, you know, predominantly green, but it's rainbow too. It's color coded. So we have yellow, green, purple, and gold. But you can see, you know, the greens throughout. We've got the green cactus. We've got the green here. There's lots of frogs. So, and of course, frogs are green. I think that's like such a playful idea to have frogs portrayed. There is nudity in this deck, so I'm trying to not show you the cards with the nudity. We've got the blue and green waves. She's standing in front of the green grass. So I love that this deck has, you know, frogs and fairies and just, you know, heavily nature inspired. It's interesting, the color combo on this one is more muted, like greens and pinks and oranges. Very kind of like the late 60s, early 70s vibe, which I totally love. Hence the Flower Child Tarot. I always thought it would have been cool to have been a teenager or a young adult in the 60s, especially, you know, to go to Woodstock. I would have totally, if I was alive, I would have totally been at Woodstock. I love music festivals and music, and I would have been a hippie. I would have been a flower child for sure. All right, so that is the Flower Child Tarot. Continuing with the animal theme, we have Mystical Cats Tarot by Lunera Weatherstone and art by Mickey Mueller. So the book is, you know, shows predominantly green. The backs of the cards are green, blue, gold with a little hint of purple. So I really like that the cats are shown in nature, like at the ocean, playing in the water. Outside in the garden, in the grass. There's some scenes inside. Oh, this poor cat's looking inside, wanting to go inside. Playing with the bugs. My cat Fluffy loved, and Phoenix loved to climb trees and hunt. They were good hunters. My new cat Pumpkin, we just built him a outdoor, like, kind of like cage, jungle gym, like outdoor play space, because the people we adopted him from said they put him on a harness and would take him outside. But I tried that a few times. He doesn't like to be on the harness, and he doesn't really like to be outside. I thought this cage would be really fun for him, but he is not an outdoor cat. Like some cats, like my other cats, have always wanted to be outside mainly. Like they'll come inside to eat and, you know, for a little bit, and but then they really want to be outside playing and climbing trees and chasing birds and hunting. But this cat, Pumpkin, he just wants to be inside, and he wants to be cuddled with me like all the time. Like he's such a sweet cat. So you can see lots of colors, but predominantly lots of greens, like hinted throughout the deck. More than half, I would say, the cards have some kind of green. And since it's like nature and it kind of goes with the vibe that I was going for, I included this in the green and kind of Celtic inspired decks. Next up, we have Alberto Villado, Colette Byrne-Reed, and Marcela Lobos Mystical Shaman Oracle deck and guidebook. This is actually my husband's originally, and the cards and everything is just like too big for him. I don't like the packaging of how many boxes I have to go through to open this. I would like a smaller deck. The guidebook's really nice though, pretty sturdy. You get a full picture and then a page about the cards. So like the coyote, you have the essence, the invitation, and the medicine, which is cool. The backs are that kind of muddy greens, golds, browns with pops of red. I will say he gave this to me a couple years ago because, you know, he didn't like how large the cards are, and just how much space it takes up. I mean, it's funny, you know, we live together, so technically it's still his. But I haven't used the deck either, so everything's still like pretty much in order, the cards. I looked through it last night and I'm like, okay, green is featured predominantly on most of these cards, so it's perfect. Nature, animal-based card deck. With lots of greens. So I need to play with this deck and see how it reads. But I love Alberto's books. So I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. So yeah, even like these cards also could be like in the blue category or the yellow category, but going with kind of that theme, I put it in the green category. So there's a lot more cards, but you get the idea. Very kind of like green overlay, like colored. And then last but not least, we have the Celtic Wisdom Tarot by Caitlin Matthews. This book is amazing. It's a hardcover and it's in full color. And they change some of the cards, and it gives you like how it's been changed and what it corresponds to in here, which is really nice. So you have the Celtic realms, leaves from the sacred tree, divination by tree, reverse cards using the cards, your responsibilities as a reader, ethics and divination, the wisdom cards, and then we have the wheel of the year, Samhain and Bulk, Beltane, and I'm not even gonna try. The Celtic wisdom tarot triads, the 7 candles of life. So they have the soul instead of the fool, the decider instead of the magician, the guardian instead of the high priestess. So you can see how they've changed it. I like how it gives you the corresponding. And then they changed the suits. They have battle, skill, art, and knowledge, and it goes with the wheel of the year as well. So this deck is really unique. It's very interesting. It could also be a rainbow deck. As you can see, it would fit in many different, but since we're going with green and Celtic, this deck is perfect. The cards are very big. But there's my triple spiral. So also very big, but they're glossy and they're not too cardboardy and too thick. I love the backs. I love, love, love the backs. So this deck is just perfect if you're into the Celtic religions or pagan. This deck could be considered like a rainbow deck. There's so many different colors, and of course it's based on the seasons. It's just a beautiful deck. Vibrant colors, lots of spirals. Love the spirals. So there's like spirals somewhere on like all of the cards. Again, lots of greens, lots of blues, like her dress is like green and blue. We've got a little bit of green here, more green and blue, vibrant green. These weird little figures. So yeah, this deck is absolutely gorgeous. There's lots of great information in the book. And I think it fits perfectly. So anyone else who wants to jump in and do this tag with me for the month of March, please tag me in your videos. I'll start a playlist, so I'll add the videos. And I can't wait to see your responses and your picks for green and Celtic inspired tarot decks for St. Patrick's Day for the month of March. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep on shuffling. I'll see you next time. Bye.